like as creative small business owners, we really need to chat because we've all heard the story of quitting your 9 to 5 to work 24/7, but I really don't think entrepreneurship needs to look like that.
I was actually feeling pretty stressed going into our trip this weekend, and on our hike into the backcountry hut, I realized that every time I create space for myself, every time I take time away and zoom out from my business, things always shift and realign in the best way. So I thought that while I was on this trip, I'd share some of these thoughts with you and some of the lessons I've learned in the 8 years of building my 6-figure business that aligns with the life I want to live, with less hustle, more freedom, and room for more adventures.
I feel like, especially as a creative, being a small business owner should be what works for you, and you should be able to design how that looks like. For me, that means balancing adventure and getting outside and connection with friends with working on my business and creating and finding ways to better align my business with the life that I want to live. When I first started my business, I had come from a place of burnout, and I had this mentality of the harder I would work, the more I could grind, the better and more successful I would be in my business. But after a couple of years, I realized that that is not what success looks like to me, and I was making enough money where I didn't have to do that. And to me, being a creative business owner means you get to choose what success looks like to you, and that doesn't have to look like everyone else. It also means that as you grow and evolve and change within your business can evolve and change with you, and that's the most amazing part of being a small business owner. For me, I didn't want to trade my career job for a business that felt like a job. What I wanted the most was freedom to do the things I wanted to do with the people I love. I also wanted to just live my life on my own terms, create when I wanted to create, change when I wanted to change, and just do things my own way. I think a lot of us view success as a small business owner as looking at someone else's roadmap. But what if that roadmap looks different to you? What if what you want is a business that supports your well-being, gives you space to rest, to connect with others, to travel, to create, and to just do the things that you want to do? I know all of that sounds very vague and like, how am I supposed to do that when I feel like I'm just surviving? But I think the biggest part of reaching that goal and those dreams is to know what that looks like for you, because it's different for everyone. And I know for me, it took a couple years for me to figure out what that meant to me. And I guess what I'm saying is, you're not alone if all you want is freedom to have control of your time and space to create and to work on your terms. And there will be seasons of hustle. There also will be seasons of slowness, but the bottom line is that is your decision to make and your choice. And I think true creativity and alignment for me means that I'm not always grinding and I am finding stillness, but you have to create that stillness for yourself because it's so easy to get sucked into the day-to-day. The to-do list is never ending, but you are allowed to take breaks. You're allowed to make space for yourself. And the hardest part is just allowing yourself to do that. So if you needed a nudge, I'm here to tell you that it is okay. And I actually think it's necessary as a small business owner to create that space for yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. I really think that some of my biggest breakthroughs happen when I'm not at my desk. It's when I'm away, when I'm out on an adventure or in a room with friends. Like, I'm at a backcountry hut right now with a group of 15 friends. It was a 4-mile hike in on skis with big backpacks on, where it is a challenge. But during that hike, I just felt all of that stress melt away. I felt like the ideas had started to flow and I just felt more refreshed. And I just felt like all the pieces right now in my business that felt a little bit all over the place were really starting to come together in my head. But it's not because I was just sitting there grinding and working. It was because I took myself out of that situation and got myself out of that bubble. When you're feeling overwhelmed, burned out, or stuck, The best thing to do isn't necessarily to keep working harder. It's to actually take time away, whether that's just going for a walk around the block, getting a coffee with a friend, going and sitting in stillness and just listening to a quiet meditation for a little bit. Those are all the things that help me relieve that stress and then help me get the ideas flowing again. If it isn't obvious, nature for me is what does that. And I really feel like nature is what helps me reconnect with myself, my dreams, my goals. And it doesn't mean I'm thinking about it while I'm out here all the time. It just means I'm creating that space and re-energizing and giving myself a chance to just be and to be with the people I care about, to do something that moves my body, to experience just the wonders of Mother Nature. I feel like being out here and that feeling of being small and insignificant in the universe, it's one of those feelings that just grounds you and brings you back to what really matters and your values and what your priorities are. We're also not meant to do this in isolation. Stillness lets you hear yourself, but being in community helps you expand your ideas and to just think outside of the box and maybe just even open something up that you had never even thought of before. And I think there's a reason why we crave this connection, because for me, the best ideas didn't necessarily come from a Zoom meeting. The best ideas came from having a shared experience with other people who understood what you were going through, who care about the same things, who have similar goals and priorities, and who just want to live with more intention, more alignment, and build a business that aligns with that. Your business really doesn't have to look like everyone else's. Success for you can look like however you want it to look, and you don't have to work 24/7, you don't have to work weekends in order to make that happen for yourself. When you build your business intentionally and in alignment with the life that you want to live and with your priorities, you don't have to sacrifice all of those things or say yes to things that you don't want to say yes to, but you do have to know what those priorities are first. So speaking of community, speaking of having a shared experience, I'm gonna go back and hang out with my friends and stop talking to the camera. And the last thing I'll say is that's exactly why I started hosting creative small business retreats, because I feel like it's so important to not just be in a space where you're talking about just business. And I also wanted to be on an adventure with other creative business owners who get it. And to combine both of those things at once was a dream come true for me. But I know that everyone that has come on a retreat, we have a lifelong friendship now and just these memories that are irreplaceable. So if you want more information about my next retreat, I'll be hosting another one this August. I'll put a link down in the description for you to check it out, and I would love to see you there.
Yeah.